What is going on, guys? It's Rexsi here. Before we continue, I just want to say a few things. I don't really have a script for this. I have like a couple things, like notes on what I want to talk about. But there's just a lot of people have been left out of the loop as to what happened. I haven't really told YouTube or anything, of course, as I don't know, I haven't had the strength really to make a dedicated thing just yet. But before we do start, there's that. I'm probably not gonna really be cutting. It's just gonna be raw me talking because there's just a lot I need to talk about and get off my chest. And so if you know, this video is not gonna be for everybody. This is like a very personal video about what's happened in the last year and how it's kind of affected my content a bit. I'm starting to get back to where I was, but yeah, if you don't want to hear some stupid depressing story, then just move on. I'm not going to talk about this outside of this video. I don't want to in general. But I feel like I do owe an explanation to those of you that don't know. I kept telling myself that I would do this again and again, month after month, and I kept pushing it back, but it turned into a cycle of just waiting to talk about it. So I apologize. To begin with, I'm sorry to those of you that I've been angry or rude towards ever since this has started. That's not my intention, but essentially last May, Snowball died. He passed away. And it's been really, really hard. I'm still not really. I'm not even ready to talk about it, but I mean, I need to face things, or But yeah, I thought I would start before we get into this, because that's the major thing, but yeah. So much has happened in like a year, man. Like every time something bad happened, I had him, to be there with me, and he died just really suddenly. I was gonna do this on webcam, but it's gonna take too long, and I've tried to record this like 3 times, but it's just been hard. But there is some context to this. I'm gonna cut whenever I'm struggling to talk. I don't want to keep you guys here for ever, but I thought I would give some context to all this and what started, what I'm gonna get into. But I did a video the May before the last May. As a lot of you know, my best friend growing up, he took his life, and Riley was like my closest friend growing up. Literally lived just a few houses up the street. He'd come over every day. We met in kindergarten, and he was on the back of the bus, and he's like, "Hey, wanna be friends?" I'm like, frick yeah. And I don't know, ever since then, he would come over every single day. There'd be a snow day. He'd walk down to my house without permission. My dad would just let him in all the time. It made me angry because, some days, I did obviously wanted some time to myself. It was a snow day. I was trying to sleep in, but probably would come on in every single time, and we'd chill and hang out every day back in the back of my house. And we were best friends onward up till a little after university, and he kind of got distant and all that prior, but yeah, when I heard the news, I don't even I remember this feeling of lightheadedness, this out of body feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just surreal. It's like I was looking down at myself. you're so out of it in the moment. Because I heard it from a friend that like we didn't even like each other growing up, and you know, and he had told me because he was also Riley's best friend, and was our closest friend group growing up, and then I don't know, I was just in complete denial, and I was just calling him and calling him, and I just refused to believe it. And then once that went away, I was angry. I was just angry at myself for not it's not rational, obviously. Like, the last thing that you should ever do is blame yourself. I was angry because I thought, not reaching out more and doing stuff. I didn't know about this, obviously, what was going on. And then when I got really, really, really unreasonable, I just started. That's when it kind of started, where I just would pound back alcohol. Just like, if I could ignore it, then it wasn't real, or I didn't have to think about it, and the feelings would just go away. And anytime I woke up, I would immediately just get blackout drunk. I did that for like 2 weeks straight. And I just tried to make it feel not real, but it doesn't work. You're just pushing them away, and talking about everything is important in general. That's when I started therapy and stuff, and over his death. But then I got so trapped because I kept blaming myself, and I'd hate myself for feeling that, because it was unreasonable. And I'd sober up, because obviously it's not my fault. It's no one's fault. So anytime I just had drinks, my emotions would resurface, and I'd express it and feel it, but it's not like it would go away. And then I would get mad at myself for getting drunk and try to punish myself by getting drunk, like more drunk, and hating myself because of that. And it turned into this cycle of, I just hated everything. I hated everyone around me. I hated myself. Myself was the big thing. I hated myself more than anything. And that was explained to me through therapy, that all this anger was just going towards myself, and I didn't notice, but I got stuck into it, and I kind of trapped myself. And anyways, I remember we all got together after the funeral, and we were all talking constantly, and we had a bonfire and shared our favorite memories, like even groups that, weren't friends growing up, like people's lives that he affected. And we just shared drinks, told stories, made jokes, told funny stories that we had from when we were younger. And that really, really helped me through the ed. And, I would just go on walks on the creek that we used to play on when we were younger, and I would walk by his house every time, and his stepdad actually walked out once and had a talk with me, which I was not prepared for. Man, that fucking broke me. Like, we had these little, I still have mine, I still have it here. We had these little tiki necklaces, like the cheap ones from Walmart, and we had like 4 or 5 of my closest friends growing up. Like, it was some sort of treasure for us, where we had this superhero group where we all had powers, and the necklaces symbolized them, and or symbolized that we were, one of the a part of the big superhero group. My mom just picked up a couple at fucking Walmart. I entrusted my friends with them, and a lot of my friends still have them, actually, funny enough. And the last message that Riley sent me was him, when he had found it, the necklace, and he showed me the picture, and I was like, oh man, that's all. It was a nice memory. And then, it happened a couple weeks later, and his dad actually ended up finding it in his apartment, and he gave it away, or gave it away to me, I should say, as a memory. And there's just different pieces involved about moving on, and what helped me through it. And 100%, obviously, talking about it and reminiscing with friends is a big thing. But I started using alcohol to try and just not think about things whenever I would experience a lot of like heavy emotional stuff in my life, like something big happened, and I would try and, ignore it and grieve without actually grieving. That's stupid. But I ended up breaking the cycle eventually. I got my shit together. I was starting to socialize again. I was going outside. Then, like, not even a few months later, I remember laying on the ground crying because I thought the Snowball was about to die. I laid on the ground with him for hours, and I thought there were seizures, but it was heart stuff, and yeah, and he was okay from that, but I rushed with the vet, the ER, and he was unresponsive a little bit, and then my parents got back from vacation, and they were crying because I thought they were thinking about him too, and then my first pet ever, Snowball's sister, had a stroke and was dying. She had to be put down the next day, and I don't know, that grief combined at the same time, I overwhelmed myself and just, I thought alcohol was the answer, like, so I didn't have to think about it. Because I wasn't going to be able to sleep, I wasn't going to be able to do anything, and I'm like, oh, that's smart, let me just not think about it, and anyways, I relapsed and started drinking again because of it, because I didn't want to think about it. But again, after time's passing again, and the things started to feel getting back to normal, I got control of it. I moved on. I cherished her memory, and I was fine again. I felt good. But then, lo and behold, not even a couple months later, my first dog, golden retriever named Max, he had a stroke. A month later, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. And I remember he shot up to see me, and he couldn't stand, and he licked my face. He couldn't see me. Then, again, like an idiot, I tried to cope with it by drinking. And it just kind of consumed my life. And I'm gonna have to edit out a lot of this stupid shit of me crying. So sorry if it's a little jumpy at times. So this is where shit really got bad, though, as you can probably guess. Not including, like, one or other things, because it's not something you guys need to hear, but it all happened in that year, and no matter what, at least through all of this, I had Snowball. Like, through everything, like, no matter how deep I sunk or whatever, Snowball was there. He was like my anchor. I was kind of drifting out at sea, and I had him. And every time, I thought that there could be something worse. I had him since I was really young. And animals kind of like choose you. And Snowball basically chose me. Anytime I was on vacation, he would always cry and look for me. He'd search the house. Every time. To the point where I had to go with me when I moved away. I moved to Quebec with him. And he lived with me ever since. And then just after his birthday, May hit, which was a year from when Riley died, and May like just happens to be like my fucking unlucky month, I guess. He just had some bad seizures. I cried and I laid with him all night, calling, the emergency stuff and driving over with my eyes. We got there, got into the vet. I got there around 3 a.m. by myself. Yeah, after he was back, he was just so alert and curious about everything. And he was fine. And he was just really happy, I could tell. And after that, he started to struggle to move. And I laid with him every day on the couch. Didn't move. And then I took him to an expensive hospital upstate or whatever you call it. I laid with him the whole drive. When we got there, he had to be put down. That I was so not ready for it. I was in such denial before it happened that I don't know, I fucking snapped. I lost my mind. Fuck. I had held him in my arms, told there wasn't any pain, but it still had so much life in him. He was so confused. And then he made this crying, this yelp as he died in my hand. I don't know. I'm gonna hold that to my grave. I have nightmares all the time about that fucking noise. And after that, it's just when things spiraled completely out of control. I don't want to, I don't really want to share it because and I don't like talking about this, like alcohol in general, just because it's embarrassing. It's gross. I don't like it. It's not a fun thing. I wouldn't wish addiction on literally my worst enemy. And the last thing I want to do is drag this into my content or have it affect what I do, because I don't know. I find my purpose in life. I don't know. It's cheesy or corny, but I just like to entertain. I mean, it makes me feel like I have value, And when I can't do that, I don't really feel like I'm doing anything meaningful. And after that, I drank anytime I was conscious. I've lost a month of my life. Everything went black. Like it was just like a dream. Like I wouldn't know what day it was in the week. I wouldn't move. I wouldn't even do anything. I just lay there cry mostly, and it got really bad, and I ended up having a seizure. I go to the hospital. I don't know. I was trying to punish myself. I felt like I wish there was more I could have done. You know, I spent tens of thousands on snowballs, medication, and surgeries, and to help them, and I still just blame myself. I don't know. I had a fucking manic episode that spilled into Twitter. That was embarrassing. And cops and stuff, and I don't know. It was just bad, man. Went to rehab, AA. I'm better. I'm doing better now. I am. It fucking hurt me financially because I'm not uploading. I'm spending stupid amounts of money on just to numb myself and not think about anything and just pretend like it didn't happen. And I don't know. I've gotten out a few times of this stupid fucking loop that I've been in, but I keep falling back in. And I just lose. I don't know. Like everything resurfaces, and I know I needed to make this because if I don't talk about it, I'm never going to be able to talk about it in general, and not talking about it just bottles it down, and it's the worst thing that you can do to yourself. Yeah, it's fucked me over. I was buying a house, which I wish Snowball would have been able to see and look at the window. That was one thing I was really looking forward to. I bought a house and then tax season hit. Literally just as all of a sudden I'm not uploading, you know, and then I don't know, my content's obviously I'm hurting. I'm not there. I'm monotone. I have no energy in my fucking videos, and then I'm not streaming. I mean, this money is supposed to last me the rest of my life from streaming, you know? Smite's not gonna last forever, obviously. So, like, I feel like my life is just wasting away as I'm just not doing anything. I wasn't uploading, wasn't streaming, and wasn't doing anything, and anyways, yeah, I'd just keep calling out to him and looking for him around my apartment, because I'd be just confused, and then I would yell at myself, blame myself constantly. Again, it's not something you should ever do. But somehow it's like, oh, well, I could have known that he had heart issues to begin with, and I ended up getting IBS from alcohol as well, because, you know, when I would drink, I wasn't processing food. I wasn't eating really even anything. But yeah, I just got into this terrible cycle of hating myself, and I don't know, ever since then that's the gist of it. Is, you know, I can't even look at my old photos, and that's what's taking so much of me, just to even think about it. I can't get past that, and I know I need to, and I've talked about it nonstop in therapy. I stopped taking my antidepressants after like 6 years because I thought maybe if I opened myself emotionally to it and go to therapy, that it would fix things, and it's helped. But I'm never gonna truly heal unless I'm able to just talk about it, you know, and address it. Because getting sad after every time I see someone even say his name in my Twitch chat, it just, you know, it's not healthy. I made a little video at the end of this, which was it was like the hardest thing I think I've ever had to make in my life, and I see it coming up on the side, and but yeah, I made a little, well, compilation thing for him. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me, by the way. I appreciate that. I know a lot of people just, I don't know if people just thought my content, like, that's just how it was, but it just doesn't feel fair. But it's affected, obviously, everything, my content included. And I'm trying to, like, I'm going to get back to where I was. All of February, I'm going to be streaming every single day. So, you know, that'll help keep me motivated, and I'm gonna push through this and face this, and hopefully, I don't know, just be able to get past it and stop getting myself stuck. But that'll be a lot of fun. I look forward to that. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things with you guys and distracting myself and getting back to where I was. And yeah, sorry for this emotional video, but like I said, I feel like it needed to be addressed, and I need to move on from it and be able to talk about it. You're also going through something, just, there is light at the end of the tunnel, just don't fucking drink. That is the one thing I'll say. Do not drink. Trust me when I tell you this. It is never going to solve anything. All it's going to do is push it back and bottle it up. And then it'll leak out when you don't want it to. And you can't, I don't know, you can't control yourself. It's not healthy for anything to just keep it bottled up. So, I don't know, I thought I would just kind of speak my mind here. This has been a lot of random talking, so I'm sorry if it was boring, but yeah, that's been what happened the past year. So I'm sorry to those that I've been rude towards or angry. My emotions just kind of, I've struggled a lot more with them ever since, obviously. And thank you guys for sticking with me through all this shit. Tomorrow's another day. Focus on the present. But thank you for watching and hearing me out. Yeah, here's the video. Bye, guys.
Dreams that you dare to rooftops, high above the chimney top, that's where